All right, so this video is about clustering. So what a cluster is, in a nutshell, is that you have one main page that you want to rank. Okay, so and for this example, Gordy Roofing, I did a page for new roof installation. It's one of the biggest keywords. So within that new roof installation page is brand new. Now we're going to write supporting content about different things about new roof installation. Okay. Now the difference between a cluster and a regular blog is the setup. Okay. So the setup is always best if you have a regular new folder. So this is the Gordy Roofing folder. I did new roof installation. So everything I need for this cluster is in this folder. Okay, so in this folder, I have the author box, I have the FAQs, I have the page content, which is the new page, and then I have the supporting content. I also have the image tags. Okay, so this is a full setup for a cluster. So I'm actually going to be doing this example for one of the talks I'm going to do in Washington, D.C. So it's all about the setup. So you go out, I have 10 articles, so I want 10 images. When I go into the images, I'll show you how I tag them and do everything else, but it's all about the setup. It's in one folder. So I want to get in the habit of, when we do clusters and we assign them in teamwork, that we assign a Google Drive folder for that cluster, and inside that folder is everything you guys need to load. Okay. Now you've got to pay attention, especially on the images, because the images are kind of named the same way as the blog. So you kind of want to match them. They're not going to be exact. They're going to be similar. Okay. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. You just don't want to have a picture of a, wooden roof on a metal roof blog type of thing. Okay. So when we go in and we start looking at, what we're going to do, like I said, the first thing we need to do is we need to build the page. Okay. So the page is critical only because this site doesn't even have a new roof installation page. So it's a new cluster, it's a new page. We're getting ready to announce to Google, hey, this is a whole new thing that Gordy Roofing needs to rank for. Okay. So when I go into the page content, pretty simple. I have a title, I have the description, I have the H1. This is the name of the page. Okay. And then I have everything else below it. Okay, good. Every time you see the blue, that's Grammarly Pro. You got to fix the stuff. Let me see. What is this? Complete guide to new roof installation. Okay, good. That's the one I want. I've got a couple pages here. I don't know if I'll use all of them, but when you use stuff in ChatGPT, you always write more than one, just in case you see something you like. Okay. This one's step-by-step process. That'll probably be a blog post. Top 5 roofing problems solved. Why professional roof installation? Okay. So I got a lot of blog content, or page content I can do. I can make a few pages. One of the things too is I did this for East Texas. Some of these other pages are going to be for the cities. So I'll show you that here in a second. Okay, that should be it. All right, good. Okay, so I'm gonna go back up here. I'm gonna grab this first one. I'm gonna add a new page. All right, do the title, or the H1, complete guide to new roof installation in East Texas. I'm going to get rid of that right now. And I want to keep the URL kind of small. So you don't want these huge long URLs if you can stop it. This is really all I need to do. So this page is actually going to be new roof installation because it's a brand new page. So I'll edit this. Oh, hold on. It's already got one. Okay, so when this happens, we need to go find out there's another page in here that isn't named properly.
Did you guys catch that? It had the number 2 on the permalink. That's how he knew.
I don't know which one it's going to be. I'll tell you what, here, let me get, this isn't something I would have you guys do, but I'm going to add plugin real quick. All right. Now, once that's done, we should be able to see a list of all the URLs now. All right. Maybe not. Expanded. Shoot. I thought that one did it. Okay. Sorry. Let me get a different one. I don't use this plugin very often. So. Oh, okay. So that's the way it does it. Okay. Well, shit. All right, give me a second here, people. We'll figure this out.
We just like to watch your process, how you think.
There it is. Who the hell did this page? Okay, this is an old page. Okay, what do you think I'm doing here, everybody?
Looking to see if it's still indexed.
Very good. Yep, it's indexed. Okay. All right, so now I have a decision to make. Okay, so I will probably kill this page.
But how do you determine that? And do you want them to determine whether to?
No, I don't want them to determine it. So this, I didn't find this one when I first started doing this content cluster because this is an old page. This isn't a page that we did. This is probably done by the old company. But it's okay. I can work with it. I'm just going to change it up a little bit. But because it's, an aged page and it's indexed, I definitely want to use it. Now I can take some of the content that I had made, like I'll put, the FAQs on this page and stuff. That's not a problem. But I definitely want to use this since it's there. So if you get a number 2 in the URL, when you appear, when you first make it, then you want to make sure that you find out what that number 2 is. Now that number 2 can also show up. It's another thing you got to be careful for. It'll also show up in trash. So just because it's deleted doesn't mean that it's gone. You have to empty it out of trash, and then you can make the new page and you won't have a number 2. Okay. But if there's a number 2, you definitely want to find out why, what it is. Do I want to use that page? So that's good. Okay. So I don't need this anymore. All right. So I'm going to use this page. So it's that simple. So now I'm going to go ahead and change this page up. Edit page. All right, cool. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all of this jewelry. This used to be an old thing. Okay. It used to be what we call keyword jewelry. So you take a keyword, you either bold it or you italicize it or something. It's a stupid thing anymore. It doesn't work. Google doesn't even like it anymore. So we don't even do them. But because again, it looks bad for the user. The user's like, oh, why is roof highlighted? Well, that's because we did something the old company did.
I almost have a faster, easier way to do that. Can't you just like copy that over, pop it into a text file to remove all the formatting because you're going to mess with it anyway and you're going to use the backend builder?
Sure, yeah, without a doubt. If there's enough of them, yeah, definitely.
I don't want them to have to find the individual thing.
Well, and again, you shouldn't really find too much of them. Again, I haven't seen those in years. So except for the ones that were done recently, these older pages. Now I'm gonna have the web team go through Gordy Roofing with a fine tooth comb because I want to start. They're doing fine, but I want them to do better. Okay, so now another thing with the formatting is this. Okay, so I would bullet point those. Okay, how many words are here? 1,483. Okay, that's fine, no problem. But we're going to add to it. So I'm going to update this now. I do want to check on this real quick. The image, okay? I'm going to do some stuff to the image. I'm going to go back to our folder. I have image tags here, and I'm going to just grab some. Here's a title.
So I know you said you did like 20 blogs in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Getting this all set up with this folder with your image stuff, all of your things that you need for this cluster, how long did it take you to prepare that?
About an hour.
Okay, because I want good expectations for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's about an hour. But the slowest part, of course, is the images. So if we can figure out an image thing.
Working on it.
Okay, now one thing about this image sets is, and the way I have this prompted into ChatGPT, is the alt tag is now a converting term. We saw Honey Witcher teach this at SEO Spring Training last year. And so I changed the prompts around so it does this automatically. Because alt tag is typically for the slightly blind people, so they can still move around the internet. So when a blind person hits a tab key and that tab key goes to the image, this is what it repeats back. And it's usually in a voice thing. So Gordy Roofing installs top quality roofing materials for new roof installation in East Texas. Protect your home with durable roofing solutions. Contact us today for a free consultation. Okay, so we definitely want that in the alt text. Save. All right, now I want to update this. Okay, so two things that are missing on here are the two things that we're going to add. So now I'm going to take this and turn it into a back-end builder. I'm going to go ahead and
one
update
more
it again.
question, because this was an older blog, older format, and you saw that list of like services or keywords at the bottom. Is that crap you need to take off, or?
Yeah, we're going to go through that here in a second.
Okay.
So, all right, so now I need to make sure that my new title and description is the same. So I'm going to go back up here. I don't need my image tags right now, but I'm going to go to this page content. I'm going to use this title. And then you always keep the brand at the end. And I will even add company. So I can get more of a keyword in there. Grab the description. There we go. Actually, it's a little long. I don't want it that long. So I want to keep it right around 1,000. Offering insights. Let me see. Still too long. I will leave that. Okay. You just don't want it super long. Let's see. Grammarly Pro. Got it. Okay, now I'll update it again.
And just so that you guys, like, I think you guys are doing title and meta, like he's showing there on that SEO box. That SEO box sometimes is also down below the Avada builder blocks. You can move it above, like it's a floating container.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you guys know that, if you know where to find it or how to find it or whatever.
Okay, so now I need to do the frequently asked questions. Okay, so bear with me. I'm going to put this over here on a different screen so I can copy and paste it easier. All right, now I want to do toggles in here. I'm a big fan of toggles, only because it makes the page so you don't have to scroll all kinds of ways. I like the formatting of toggles. So we'll use toggles on the FAQ. You guys used toggles before?
Yes, we do. Toggles or accordions. Bonus question if you guys know the difference.
Okay.
No bonus points on a Monday? It says it right there. Accordions only allow one thing to be open at a time. It will close up all of the extras. That's the difference.
Remember, always hit the clipboard, even if it's coming from text files. Just get in that habit.
That's why you guys have div codes all over my pages.
See, if you do it that way, it's clean. It's clean in the back end. If you just do it from Google Sheets or Google Docs, then you bring in the div code. Oop, see, I did that. I screwed that up. Undo text. You'll see it if you make a mistake and forget one, and when you look at it, the formatting will be different. Getting too fast for my own good here. Nice thing about doing it this way, though, and you saving it in the library, you only have to do it once.
I don't do the clipboard. I just paste it from the text side.
Yeah, you can do that too. That's probably actually easier. usually have 5 or 10 frequently asked questions on something like, how many keywords this can rank for a new roof installation. I'm doing 10. Doo-doo-doo. Last one. All right, save this. I'll go ahead and update this. I update a lot because of, once you lose stuff after you work on it for a while, it gets very disheartening. All right, I'm going to save the container. FAQ new roof installation. So now for every time I have a new roof installation blog or page, I just call out this container. Okay. We'll update it again. And now I've got one more to do. That is the author box. Okay, so this author box is going to be a little bit different. Oh, actually, shoot. You know what? Hold on. I forgot to do this. Now I need to resave it. Okay, that container is saved. So I'm going to delete that one. All right. There we go. That's updated. Okay, so now I need to grab the author box. Okay, so this author box is going to be a little bit different because they have so many locations. New container. This one I'm just doing a text block. Okay. All this information's in the Google Drive folder. So you guys should be able to get it. All right. So they have a lot of locations. Okay, so this is their main one. So I'm going to grab this link. this one here. Anything that leaves the website, you want to open in a new tab.
Company is spelled wrong in the title.
I can't hear you.
The company is spelled wrong in the title.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know if I'm gonna grab another one. Let me see here. Which ones do I have? Mineola. Yeah, I'll definitely grab long views. Okay. And you guys probably won't know this, but I know it just because it's obviously our client. Okay. I might even throw another image in here. This is like a judgment thing. They're really proud of their 50 years. Okay. Save that. Update it. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's update this sucker and then take a look at it. All right. FAQs. White Trustworthy. Okay. All right. And like Elizabeth said, keeping within the silo. Gone. I'm sure this thing hasn't been Grammarly pro'd. Okay. All right. Now I do want some links though. This is the thing. So, where's the page? So I definitely want to link to residential roofing. Actually, that's too close. Remember, 2 paragraphs before you put a link in. Make sure Grammarly's done. Okay. All right. Staying within the same site, so I don't need to open in a new tab. And I want to get one for commercial. Why do you think I want both? Anybody tell me? Anybody? That understand? Okay. All right. So we already got residential. Let's go down here. You know what? Hold on here. Okay. So I'm adding in some stuff around commercial so it makes a little bit more sense. Or business. All right. Hold on, I'm looking for something here. There we go. I'll use this one. All right. Okay, forgot my link. All right, now I can save this and update it. Okay, so now our main, what we call the money page or the center of our cluster is finished. Okay, so now we're just going to keep an eye on that page. Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. Okay, so this one should be posts. All right, now let's take a look at some of these posts from before. Okay. Okay, so why choose and then why trust? FAQs. Okay, you can see the formatting's way off. This is all because of the div codes and stuff you guys got to clean up. Okay, so I'm going to just do a new one. You'll use this one as a template from now on. All right. Now, let's go to blog content real quick. Okay, I'm going to push this over here. So I can copy and paste. All right. Okay. All right. Title. Description. Alrighty. Hit the clipboard. Do-do-do. All right. First thing, get rid of the word conclusion. All right. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up here and take out all the extra spacing. All right. Okay. I'm going to get a space here. I'm going to add a media file here. Comments. All right. Okay, here we go. Here's the image. And I matched it. Best roofing materials. That's the name of this blog. So now I'm going to go here and I'm going to grab my image tags. And I'm looking for that same one. Best roofing materials. There we go. So I'll grab this for the description. Here's the description. And I'll grab this for the alt tag. Make sure it's center and full size. Insert. I also want to make sure this is the featured image. Set. This blog is about roofing materials. New roof, because that's this whole cluster. So I don't need to make anything. All right, now I can go back and start the formatting. Okay, so H2, H3, H3, H2.
And I want to reiterate what he's doing because he's using the H tags for SEO purposes, not for design.
What's wrong? There we go. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to publish it. And I just want to take a look now in case I need to. One things that we're going to start getting away from is these sidebars. Mainly because if you look at them on mobile, they're at the bottom of the blog. So we need to make sure that we can include a form inside of it, but we'll worry about that later. It's a major formatting change for Salterra, but we're going to change that. So, okay. So now that I have the initial blog, I'm going to go to the backend builder. I'm going to save it again. Okay. Now I'm going to add containers. So I'm going to do the FAQ. And I'm going to do the about wordy update. Now we take a look at it. Got our FAQs, got our about wordy. All right, last step, we're going to link. Okay, so obviously the first link we want is the new page we built. Right here, new roof installation. And that link is going to be towards the top. I hate this freaking window thing Aveda does, but anyways. All right, so we need to find out, what are we looking for as far as a good link for the new roof installation page, okay? So there's all kinds of things about, asphalt, metal, slate, roofing, timeless style, stuff like that, okay? So it really doesn't matter. You just want the link to make sense. So I'm probably not going to put it within asphalt, metal, or slate because it's more broad. So I'll probably put it down here. Using Mediterranean, it's tile. There we go. Roofing material for your new roof installation. Perfect. Okay, perfect link. All right, now I'm going to go to the blog posts. Do I have them open? Nope, okay. And I'll go to the new roof category, see what else I have in here to blog or to link to. There's the one I'm doing right now. Kind of look at the date. You don't want to do one that's super old. I think all these are about the same. So I'll take a look at this. It's probably not going to be the right formatting. Okay, it's not, but that's okay because I'm going to teach you something else in a second. Yep, let's just go here. Grab this. What is this about? Top roofing materials. Okay, that's about 5 signs. Okay, so I'm just going to do this one. New roofing installation in East Texas. Remember, you don't want to have the same anchors. If I see that, I will be mad. It's the number one thing you don't do. Mix up your anchors. Make them make sense. You can type in a couple words before or after. Just make sure it flows properly. Okay. All right. So there's our 2 links. Okay. We'll hit update. See how it looks. There's the first link. It goes to our page that we want to do. And then there's the other one, the 5 signs. Okay, so we did exactly right. This page is done. This blog's finished. Okay, pretty simple, pretty easy, not a lot of drama. Okay, now these older blogs, this is where we can get really cool. Okay, so I want you guys to go into the category of new roof, all these blogs. Okay, what do you think we're going to do? Anybody?
Make sure it has your FAQ and author box, right?
Exactly. Okay. I really don't care too much about links and stuff on these old ones anymore. But what I do want to do is I want to change it. I want to add in.
How do you determine what's like an old one? Just one that doesn't have the proper formatting?
Yeah,
or...
exactly. One that doesn't have the proper formatting.
Okay.
Because what this does is this kind of reintroduces typically a brand new page to Google again. So, like I said, we can, if you want to spend time going through this and seeing, if you want to go through this thing and fix all the anchors and stuff, totally fine. But for right now, I think it's going to be pretty powerful just putting these 2 on the older ones. So you don't need to go through all of them because I know we have a bunch of work to do. But like for this one here in this project, this cluster, I want you guys to go back and add those. So, because again, we're completing the cluster, and it doesn't take that long. It really doesn't.
Yeah, so it's only completing them on the clustered blogs.
Exactly. Only do
The
the
ones
new.
that
Only
you're
do the
linking
new
out
roof.
to.
Yep. Only do the
Okay.
new roof. So I'm not worried about anything else at this point. See how fast that is. You should be able to knock out, all of these pretty quick. Okay. There's only 14 of them. Okay. So, and then, like I said, now we can go back and start doing again. Change this. See, where's the schedule? So this is now your new template. This one here that we just built. So when you do them for roof repair, we need to do an FAQ for roof repair. If you do, you can still use the same about box. So you can use the same about box on all of these. But if you go into roof inspection needs its own FAQs. So somebody's going to have to build that library. If you go into roof repair, somebody's going to have to build that library, so on and so forth. Okay, roof leaks, just try to again, we bite off one thing at a time, but for right now, we're just doing the new roof cluster and go back into the old blogs and, grab the new roof ones and then put the FAQ and the about box in them. So, and then you're just going to go on and just, kick butt. So copy to a new draft, and all you're changing now is just this first section, the images, the title, description, post it. Okay. So you should be pretty quick. I'm going to put all this stuff up into Teamwork, this Google Drive folder that has all this stuff. Elizabeth, if you want to assign one person to do this, and I can work directly with I want one person to understand clusters like the back of their hand, because this is super powerful stuff, and we don't want to screw it up. We don't want to mess up the internal linking. We don't want to mess up how we do the structure and the format. You want to make sure to hit that paper or that clipboard text button all the freaking time. Okay. So, please pay attention. Somebody else can go back to the old blogs and get rid of the highlighted stuff on Salterra. Salterra is always going to be a priority. So mistakes that I see on Salterra need to be fixed first. Okay. Then we can go back to clients. Any questions at all about content clusters and doing clusters? None? Okay. All right. So this is going to be, Elizabeth's going to assign this to somebody. Between me and Amber and Elizabeth, we'll keep an eye on how it's coming. but the clustering is super important. Take a lot of pride in it. Use your creativity on your internal linking. Just make sure it makes sense. And remember, if you're writing a blog about a specific topic, make sure you stay within that specific topic for linking, like the WordPress blogs. Okay. So just pay a little bit more attention. It might take you a little bit longer, but as you get more and more into it, you'll be able to load up 10, 15, 20 blogs a day. Okay. And the nice thing about doing the formatting this way is we don't have to reinvent it again. Next time in 2 months, when we do more new roof installation content, we've already got the FAQs, we already got the about box. So we're really making the efficiency really go up.
I have a clarification on the content cluster.
What's that?
I have a clarification on the content cluster.
Uh-huh.
Do the blogs need to be connected to one another? For example, the 14 new roof blogs?
Yep, exactly. So this new one that we did, I actually keep this open until the second one, or when I link to this one, then I'll close it. So when I'm working on clusters, I have the last one I did, it opened up, and I'm looking for a place to link that. It might not link on the next blog. It might be the blog after that, but I don't close the tab until I have a link on it. Okay. I also have a tool in a lot of these sites that I don't have you guys play with, but it's for me, like Link Whisper. So Link Whisper is a tool. The one thing I don't want is what's called orphan posts. So when you don't have any internal links to a post, then it's called orphaned. It's just sitting out there doing nothing. So for instance, if Google crawls that post, there's really no place to send Google after that post because there's no internal linking. And same thing with a page that's just sitting out there and nothing linking to it. A lot of times Google won't index those. So when I run the link scans, which it'll do it pretty quick, but when I run the link scans, the biggest thing I'm looking for is orphan posts. So I'll see them if you guys miss them in linking. But, just pay attention. Once you do a post, put it up live, and just know that you have to use this anchor, this URL, and another blog. Once you do, you can close it out. But you always pay attention to this one. Okay, so the two I have open is the main money page. This is the center of the cluster. And then everything, all these other blogs are going to be about this new roof installation page. They're all going to link to the new roof installation page, this one, and they're going to link together in a circle. Okay.
You have your graphic that shows the structure of your content bomb, right?
Yeah.
Just so that you guys can see, like, wireframed out. There's a specific strategy, and then the new content shape has a spot for each of the URLs that you're linking to, so you can keep track of it. Because if you get, 5 or 6 blogs deep and you're like, wait, what am I linking to? Where am I going? You guys need to track that.
Yeah. And I would do clusters. This is kind of my rule. I do clusters when I have enough time to complete the whole thing. Okay. So don't start a cluster at the end of the day and not be able to complete it. So a lot of times I'll do clusters in the morning because that's typically when I have the easiest time frame to do all this stuff. Okay. So this is a cluster. Okay. So in our example, we have a new roof installation page. Excuse me. And then we have all these blog posts. Okay. So each blog post is linked to the money page, and then each blog post is linked to another. Okay. Now you don't want to have like this blog post linking to this page, this blog post linking to this page. You want to make sure that you're keeping like a Ferris wheel. Okay. Keep the cluster in a circle. Okay. So you don't want to do some crazy linking. I've tested it all. It actually gets really convoluted, and you start really getting into what's called keyword cannibalization. So what keyword cannibalization is 2 keywords fighting for the same spot, okay, on 2 different pages. So if I have new roof installation page and then I have a blog about, the top 20 things about new roofs, Google might have a problem knowing which one's more important. Well, you solve that by this blog linking to that page and not vice versa. So this page will never link back to a blog. That defeats the whole purpose. That's called a reciprocating link. The reciprocating links aren't a good thing. So Google doesn't want to go back and forth. So they want to just go right and think about it as a bot from Google. They hit a page, there's a link there, there's a link there. They go to this page. They go to they see another one. They go to this page. They see another one. Then they go to this page. So you can kind of see how Google can crawl these things very, very simply and give us credit for all of them. Okay, so this Gordy Roofing one has 10 blogs in it as far as the cluster. So make sure that you have enough time. Start now and make sure you have enough time to finish out that cluster. If you don't finish it, first thing the next day, you've got to finish it. Because one thing we don't want Google to do is crawl this site when we're right in the middle of this cluster. Because now it can get what's called a 404 error, especially if your link isn't linked to a live page yet. That's one of the reasons why we don't schedule clusters. Clusters are all loaded at once. They're never scheduled. Okay. So it's okay right now to schedule posts like we do here. That's fine, but never in a cluster. Okay. And you don't want to link to something that's scheduled because that link isn't live yet. Okay. So if you're doing stuff and you have, oh, hey, here's a good one and it's scheduled, just make that one live and then link to it. But just remember, don't link to anything that's scheduled or anything in draft, any of that type of stuff. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay,
Yes.
cool. All right, so that's all I had for this. We've got to jump off and get ready for our podcast. You know, Elizabeth, figure out who you want to do the cluster who you want to be the cluster person. I also want to get somebody into Gordy Roofing as a whole, not together at the same time, but just to start looking at older formatting, you know, making sure that the site's just not a piece of junk. Okay, that's the biggest thing. So. Yeah, see, I got no orphan pages right now. That's perfect. I don't want to see any orphan pages. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Anything at all? Okay.